Welcome to Podcast Marketing Secrets, the place for entrepreneurs, coaches, and CEOs who are looking to grow their business with the podcast, become a key person of influence in their industry, and get their ideal clients to come to them, also known as attraction marketing. I'm your host, Al Morentin. My guest today is Sally Gimon. Sally teaches Americans how to save money easily with the Spendthrift Trust. You can save federal taxes on capital gains, short and long term, interest income, dividend income, rent roll taxes, and royalties. The Spendthrift Trust is legal and in the IRS tax code. The Rockefellers and U.S. presidents use this special trust, and she wants people to learn what the rich know. Welcome to the show, Sally. I'm excited to learn more about you and the Spendthrift Trust.
Thank you, Al. I need you to introduce me more often. That was great.
Awesome. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into investing?
Excellent. Back in October 2018, my oldest nephew got married in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was living in Phoenix. My mom and dad were in Goodyear, Arizona. They drove to Charlotte. My mom got sick along the way. She got septic blood poisoning. She was on the ventilator for 13 months, in a hospital for 15 months. I was working as a Medicare broker, worst job in the world. October is open enrollment. I worked until 8 o'clock Friday night, drove myself to Sky Harbor Airport, did a red eye to Charlotte. My other nephew picked me up. Family tradition, we go to IHOP for breakfast, and then we went to the hospital to see my mom. We walked in, and the priest was giving my mom last rites. My world kind of stopped moving. Surreal day, go to my brother's house, take a shower, go to a wedding with friends and family from all over the world. Great time. I went and saw my mom the Sunday after the wedding, caught a flight to get back to Phoenix because I had to be at work at 6 a.m. Phoenix time because of Medicare. Fast forward, in December, I went out to my parents' house twice a week to do the mail, and there was a letter that was 27 pages thick. It was my mom's Medicare statement. When I opened it up, first month in a hospital was $172,000. I don't know about you, but that was shocking. My dad, retired military. They had TRICARE for life. She got everything paid for. But at that point, standing in my parents' kitchen in Goodyear, I had $184,000 in debt, mortgage, student loans, credit cards, 2 car payments, my brand new car, driving on Indian School Road to go to work in the morning. I was a second car through the light. A guy who was drunk, high, and no insurance ran the red light, T-boned me on my passenger side, and I went from being comfortable to all of a sudden eating ramen noodles because, I've got 2 car payments. Right there, first week of December, I called my friend Glenn in my parents' kitchen, and I said, I need to change my life. And he's like, Sally, next week we're having a Christmas potluck. Get a $5 gift and bring some food. I don't know about you, Al, walking to a Christmas party where you know nobody, kind of scary, but it's the best thing I did. 2019, I'm still working as a Medicare broker full-time. I wholesaled 7 bank-owned properties nationwide, paid off all my debt, thinking I'm doing fantastic. Well, I forgot about capital gains. And when I went to go do my taxes in April 2020 for 2019, I had to get on a payment plan with the IRS. I thought there was a big, huge red L over my forehead. My friends in my real estate group, like, you're doing fantastic. I'm like, you don't know what I'm doing. So this led me, I bought a contract July of 2020 for a house that was $20,000 that was going to go to auction for $50,000 July of 2020, in middle of COVID. Everything shut down, so it took 13 months. During those 13 months, I read a book about the Rockefellers Trust that's called The Office, and I started researching it, and I started my own trust September of 2020 and moved that property, that $20,000 house, into that property. And when it finally went to auction, August 28th of 2021, it went from $50,000 up to $64,000. But more importantly, I saved $10,300 in short-term capital gains and started teaching about the trust in my real estate group. And then I started my own company to help U.S. business brokers, U.S. business owners, 1099 income earners, and investors March of 2022, because nobody knows this. Only the rich know it, and I want everyone to know it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's quite a journey you went on to get there. Like with ups and downs, but you must have felt like you like found the buried treasure or something when you discovered that.
Exactly. Well, the whole joke, I found the private law firm, and when I called them, they're like, "Oh, no, we're accident attorneys. We don't do this." And I'm like, "I know you do this. I know somebody." I had to find a distributor, and I became his client, and then I became a distributor myself because I didn't know the rules correctly, and if I got in a payment plan, other people in my real estate group, it's amazing how many people are in trouble with the IRS when I talk to them on Zoom meetings and stuff like that. So I want to help as many people as possible.
That's awesome. And is it different for like a business owner as opposed to like a salaried person?
Correct. Unfortunately, I can't help 1099 income earners because they have to pay their FICA and everything else. The business trust is for 1099 income earners. The beneficial trust is for any investor, and most of my clients have one or the other. I do have both trusts. In 2022, on my 3 online businesses, I saved 92% in federal income taxes with my business trust. I only paid 8%. And then with my beneficial trust, I wholesaled houses. I have 12 notes that pay me interest income. I got to save that. My friend does my options trading. I can't sleep at night trying to do options trading, but that's dividend income. I have rental income. I've got 4 rentals. And then selling the trust is part of the royalty. So I get to save all those 5 taxes with my beneficial trust.
That's awesome. And is it complicated? I mean, is this something that your average person can do? Like if they have like an advisor kind of a thing?
Honestly, it's not that complicated. But there's an entire team at the law firm to help you. You will get a new EIN or employee identification number. With what you do, Al, do you work under an LLC or an S corp right now?
LLC.
LLC, okay. You'll get a new EIN number. It's on the federal level. The trust will not hold an LLC or an S corp because that's statutory law. Every state's different. In Arizona, it's a corporation commission. Here in North Carolina, it's a Secretary of State. So there are different rules. And you just transfer. You talked about podcasting and selling online. You start having all that income go to the new bank account. And it's very easy to transition. There might be some paperwork. You will have to go to the DMV, unfortunately, change the registration on your cars to the trust name. So everything's in the trust. But literally, the longest thing that took for me, I had 12 notes where I'm the paper on the house. People are paying me their mortgage. I have a servicer that handled it. They had to send a series of letters. So it did take 2 months for the people who are sending in their payments to know that was changing. But after that, it's been super simple.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So it helps you to save money, or keep the money that you earn, as opposed to giving it to the government, like at least a bigger portion of it. Is this something that could be passed down to people, or how does that work?
Correct. Just like the Rockefellers Trust, the Rockefellers Trust is called the office. It's 7 generations old. The 5 elements for the trust that you need to have: irrevocable. It goes from generation to generation. Discretionary. This trust can hold money day to day, year to year. 97% of the trusts are what my mom and dad had, and what Susie Orman talks about on television. That's the family trust that dissolves after the people pass away, unfortunately, and then all that money gets dished out. Irrevocable, complex, discretionary. The trustee or trustees can make the rules for the beneficiaries. Non-grantor. This makes the trust 100% private. You're going to have someone who's not a beneficiary sign up for the trust to be the settler. To be the trustee for 10 minutes, you will need their social security number, and then they sign themselves away. This makes it, the trust is going to be based out of Texas. That's where the law firm is. It is not a speed bump. Either I can do this for you, or a representative from the law firm can do it free of charge. And then the Spendthrift. This has been in front of the United States Supreme Court twice. Both times the Supreme Court has favored with the Spendthrift Trust. It's contract law. So if Congress ever gets together and changes the IRS tax code, I can't sell any more trusts, but my business and my beneficial trust, they can't break that. I mean, in 3 years, I've saved 6 figures in federal taxes. It's an amazing thing. I can use that money for what I want to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's awesome. That gives you a lot of freedom, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think you had mentioned something about like how it keeps certain things private as well.
Correct. The 4 ways it's going to save you money. Number 1, federal taxes. Everybody wants to save federal taxes. Number 2, like your LLC, or I can send a Freedom of Information letter to the Secretary of State or the Corporation Commission with a stamped envelope and get all that information, your name, your address, your phone number, things like that. The trust, you can't do that. Number 3, I can't stop you from being sued, but the old adage from Nelson Rockefeller, own nothing, control everything. You, the person, or me, I'm worth nothing. All my assets are in the trust. So if someone tries to sue me, it becomes a frivolous lawsuit because they can't get it. They can't get money from a stone. And then number 4, if you don't know about this, Al, starting January 1st from the Treasury Department, there's going to be the Corporate Transparency Act. Every year, you're going to have to file paperwork with the Treasury Department, part of the Money Laundering Act, or be charged $10,000 or 2 years in jail. And people don't know about it, but the trust shields you from having to do this paperwork every single year.
That's awesome. And then it also saves you money as well.
Exactly. You know, one of my clients, true story, he has 120 doors in Chicago. This past summer, I don't know what his RV looks like, but think of one of those $250,000 RVs, huge RVs. He couldn't slow down for traffic. He hit the car in front of him, and that went into the car in front of her. She jumps out. No one's injured, thank God. She jumps out, sees this beautiful RV. 6 weeks later, he gets a lawsuit for $500,000. Patrick, because the insurance card had his trust name on it, but his driver's license had his name on it. So she sued Patrick. That lawsuit went away, and he saved a $500,000 lawsuit. And he's like, "Thank you, Sally. This saves me money, so much money, the rental income and the lawsuits and everything."
That's awesome. Yeah. And people don't a lot of people don't understand how much lawsuits are out there and how they affect you big time.
Correct. A crazy statistic. 40% of all LLCs get sued every single year. I mean, what you're doing now with your LLC, someone could find just go to the Corporation Commission website of Arizona, research it, and they could sue you for that. And, not making fun of CPAs and attorneys, but the tax code is 10 times the size of old Shakespeare's work. And most CPAs work in the 300, 400 level. And there are 1 million attorneys, and they only get a few hours a year in trust. That's why, $1,000 for a family trust is so easy to do. I do have a recommendation. The 4% of attorneys who are trust attorneys have to study. This is a law book they study. It's called Scott and Asher on Trust, 5th edition. That's what trust attorneys study. And there's a whole chapter dedicated to the Spendthrift Trust that, most people don't even know about. But if someone makes an appointment with me, I send them articles from Forbes magazine. I send them the book that I read by PDF, so they too can learn about this as much as they can.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Because I've, over the years, and speaking with different people that are successful, you hear about things like this, but you're like, how exactly do they do this? There has to be like some kind of a formula or some kind of a, a trust, something that that makes it all doable, and there has to be a certain pathway to that kind of success. So is this something that is like a missing link sort of for like a lot of like performers and like athletes? Correct. And stuff? and stuff like that.
To give you an idea, I suggest that you should be making at least $75,000 gross for the business trust. Some of my clients, just give you an idea. One of my clients, she's an Etsy owner. She resells earrings. She's going to be saving over, I don't have the statistics in front of me, but she's going to be saving so much money. Another one of my people, she's an Amazon seller. She does dog chew toys. I didn't know there was so much money in dog chew toys. So July, August, and September, she's selling $20,000 worldwide with her dog chew toys. With her getting this trust, if we say she's going to do $20,000 every single month afterwards, she's going to save over $46,000 at 70%. She'll save more when she takes her deductibles up to 90 to 95% per year doing this. Her story, I love her story. She got fired. She got laid off April of 2020 because of COVID. She's a single mother of 3 kids. The next morning, she's up drinking coffee before her kids got up, and she's trying to figure out what she's going to do. She started her Amazon store because she has 2 dogs. Now she's making great money with her Amazon store. But when I told her how much she's going to be saving, over $46,000 at least every single year, she started crying. And she goes, I can start putting money into college funds for my kids so they can study what they want to do. And, she's only in her 30s. If she continues her Amazon store for the next 30 years, she could be saving hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's so empowering, because to try to have your business make that much more profit for you without something, or to have get another job or side hustle or whatever, when you could just afford that through this Spendthrift trust, that's so empowering, because especially for a single mom, spending time with the kids, and because making money is one thing, but being able to spend the time with your loved ones and enjoy that the fruits of your labor.
Making money is great. Saving the taxes is even better, because they don't teach us in school. I mean, in my real estate group, I was in the Phoenix office. We were discussing that I lived in Phoenix when I started. When I got in trouble with the IRS, one of the nationwide teachers, I had his paperback copy, a book about the Rockefellers. I just started researching this because if I'm in trouble with the IRS, I want to help other people stay out of trouble too, because I don't know if you watched 60 Minutes. There was a story about people on Medicare, about how they have to owe Medicare because they got paid too much. And they're like, I didn't know I had to do that. I was clueless. I was doing great things in real estate, and I had to get on a payment plan because I was clueless.
Yeah, for sure. And that's got to be frustrating and disheartening and all that, because you're not doing some devious thing with some devious plot, trying to,
exactly.
You're trying to do everything right, and then you still end up how did I end up here? I thought I was doing everything the way I'm supposed to.
Just to give you an idea, that person who's joining my national real estate group is usually a 56-year-old gentleman. If he wholesales a house or does a fix and flip makes $50,000, and he's at 22% tax rate. There's 7 different layers, from 10% to 37%, 7 different layers. So if he's at 22% tax rate and he wholesales a house for $50,000, he'll pay $11,000 in capital gains on that April 15th, 2024, or the year later. So he just does 2 wholesale deals like that. He's paid for the trust, and he leaves a legacy for his family generation after generation.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. So yeah. And then and do people, how do you market this to people?
I do a live the second Tuesday of every month, Q&A on Zoom, so people can come out there. I do a video, 6 videos on 5 different social media sites. I get on podcasts like yours, Al, to talk to people. I get JV partners. I have a JV partner who sells infinite banking. Oh, have you ever heard of infinite banking?
Infinite banking? No.
I have two policies. One's in the trust and one's not in the trust. I don't want to get technical, but the one that's in the trust, I can put almost $2.8 million a year into that policy, get 4% compounded interest rate plus dividends, and just borrow the money from that policy to do more real estate. It's an amazing thing. Well, so my affiliate right now, right before this call, he and I were on the call. One of his clients who's a real estate investor, is getting a policy with Tony. And then Tony said, you need to talk to Sally about the trust. The real estate investor is in Victorville, California. You're in Buckeye. Victorville, California. He has 10 different rentals, and he fix and flips the rentals. We're going to save him so much money that he can start doing 6 fix and flips a year instead of just 4 fix and flips a year. And, it's leave legacies and save money. Who doesn't want to do that?
Yeah, that's so awesome. That's so beautiful. And yes, so and you're saying that legacy part too. I mean, it's amazing that with that person, you're literally like increasing his potential for cash flow besides the savings, but by 50%, but being able to do 6 flips instead of 4. So
Exactly.
that's pretty awesome. But the legacy thing is a big deal too, because I hear that a lot, because I'm I'm business consultant, but I also have a wellness business that I've had forever, since the 80s. And like I would hear that a lot with when certain things would come in, like about 6 years ago or 7 years ago, like CBD was the big thing, and it kept on hearing people talk about, I'm going to create generational wealth and do all this stuff, but they were thinking about the money making, but they didn't really know how to save it, and a lot of these people ended up losing everything along the way, because of taxes and because of like other, lawsuits and all kinds of different things that could be mitigated, it sounds like, through a trust like that.
Exactly. Just to give you an idea, the law firm I work on behalf of, they have the 72-year-old copyright on the trust. It's called the Benson Financial Trust. They have inherited a trust, a generation after generation, that turned 350 years old in 2023. I mean, wow. This family, before we were a country, they've been saving this. I don't know how many 10 generations, 12 generations. And, I don't want to crow. I'm financially free. I'm helping my nieces and nephews right now pay off their student loans. So some of them have huge bills, but, I want to help my family get on the right path. There's this beautiful mansion here in, I don't know if it's in South Carolina or North Carolina, that advertises it. It's one of the Barron families who didn't keep the money in the family, and then they had to sell off the mansion. And you see it all the time where people don't know what they're doing, or the people who got involved with that crypto coin, where the guy just robbed everybody. I mean, it's sad. It's so very, very sad. How long have you been in Arizona? How many years?
Just 2 years.
Okay. Back in 1991, Christmas of 1991, a whole bunch of people lost all their money with Keating. I forget his name. If you know, oh no, you probably won't know that. They blew up the golf, the dog racing track. But people lose money or invest with the wrong person, and they don't know where to go, or how can get sued for the silliest things, causing a traffic accident or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that one event that just changed the course of or trajectory of your life. Yeah,
exactly.
And yeah, so that's super powerful what you're offering to people, and it's awesome that you took the initiative to not just find out about it and benefit yourself with it, but also have the passion to help others that even may be in the same situation as you. They might, like, on the outside looking in, be part of a investment club, and they're doing all these things, but they're really in hot water because they didn't know about certain things that could help them. So that's super awesome that you're doing that.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. So go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like you mentioned that there was like should be making like 75,000 minimum, and stuff like that. But if someone was like looking like, hey, that like they hear this and they say, hey, that sounds interesting. Like, what's the steps that they take to start the process, I guess?
I set up, if you go out to www.thetrustist.com, I have a free video that I'll email to people. They can set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me. Literally, I take them out to NerdWallet just to show them the formula, and here's it gross, and then it's on Zoom so they can see my calculator and go, here's at 70%, and then if you get to 90%, this is how much you'll save. It's a 5-page contract. The trust does have to be paid. I'll be honest, one trust is $20,000. If you decide to get both the trusts, it'd be $37,000, a little bit discount for the second trust, current time, or 6 months from now, or 3 years from now. But you do have to go to the DMV to get your cars registered into the trust. I can't stop. I'll have to tell you that. But you start saving from day one, and you're dealing with you have your own business that you're dealing with. You just have to change things over to the new bank account, that starts with that new EIN, employee identification number, and start saving 70 to 90% on your income. That could be life-changing for anybody.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that, and then as far as business, the anonymity part, and being sheltered from I don't know if sheltered is the right term, but sheltered from like lawsuits and things like that is a big deal too. It sort of reminds me, like, sort of off topic a little bit, but way back in it was like the late 90s, early 2000s. I was in the artist district in downtown LA, and I lived in some lofts there, and the owner of that building had done some stuff to get it condemned and get everybody kicked out when they had put thousands of dollars into their units and everything, and it was a big mess. And it was me and then a bunch of artists, and they're trying, and they were like, we're gonna get together and sue this guy, but he was untouchable because he had that was like, that building in and of itself was just its own entity. It had nothing to do with him or the other buildings, because they were all their own entities, and he knew how to protect himself. Like, it sounds like, and it was like basically useless to try to sue the guy, because
just to give you I'm going to age myself, but do you remember the whole O.J. Simpson court case?
Yeah.
Some of your listeners are like, what the heck she's talking about? But O.J. was acquitted for killing his wife and Ron Goldman. The Goldman family sued O.J., the individual, for $135 million. Yeah. O.J.'s worth nothing. He has his trust. Everything's in it. Well, silly O.J. breaks into a Las Vegas hotel room several years ago and actually goes to jail for the break-in. Again, it's O.J. the person. One of my clients is at the same country club that O.J. uses in Florida, where O.J. golfs. All of O.J.'s possessions are in the trust. He still golfs 3 times a week. O.J. went to jail. The man went to jail, but they didn't penetrate the trust. And it's an amazing thing. And I agree. My college roommate is an elementary school teacher. They have 2 brothers in her school in Maryland where they have to sit on the sidelines at a gym because they're not allowed to play with the other kids because the family's job is to sue other people, and the school won't let them interact with the kids anymore. That's a horrible way to live.
For sure. Yeah. So let's see. So is there anything else that you wanted to share that you think is valuable?
I appreciate you giving me this chance, Al. The trust is legal, copywritten in the IRS tax code. It's going to save federal taxes year after year, generation after generation. Keep your information private. You'll pay no judgments if you get sued. And that 2024 Corporate Transparency Act, I just want your listeners to know about it. If, again, someone like yourself, Al, you have an LLC. If you haven't heard about it and don't know about the paperwork, $10,000 or 2 years in jail, that's a heck of a lot of information, they're not telling people about, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, and then how can people get a hold of you? I know the trustisyou.com.
www.thetrustisisyou.com. You get a free video, and then set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me. And then on the second Tuesday every month at 4 p.m. East Coast time. Ooh, you're in Arizona, so you're Mountain Time right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
So that would be 2 o'clock your time?
Yeah, you guys are 2 hours ahead. Yeah.
Correct. Can I tell you a funny story? I have an Amazon watch. I was living in Phoenix when I got my Amazon watch. They said, this is your special Arizona Amazon watch. Guess what? It doesn't change time. I'm an hour early all the time right now. So, the second Tuesday of every month, you just go out to www.thetrustisYou.com/save. And it's a Zoom meeting. I make a presentation, show people the slides, hear of some of my clients, and then I open it for a question and answer, because I want to teach as many U.S. business owners, 1099 income earners, and investors how they can save money. So, you were talking about W-2 people. Some of my investors do have, I have 4 nurses and 6 teachers who are real estate investors. They're saving their income from the real estate with the beneficial trust. I can't help them with their pensions and things like that, unfortunately.
Right on. Awesome. And we'll make sure to put all those links in the show notes below the episode for sure, so people could get in contact with you very easily. But thank you for coming on the show and sharing all your knowledge and insights with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Al. I hope you have a wonderful week.
Okay, same. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.